Let's see if anybody shows up. I was up all night with that stomach ache. Not that you care. Oh, gosh. Hey, Diana. How are you? I just decided last minute to go live. How are you doing? Did you go for your 5-mile run yet? Yeah, I just decided like last minute. I just like go on for a little bit, see if anybody shows up. I didn't really have it planned. And I can sit here and talk to myself all day. Hi. I can never say your name. Haruk TV. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you. Tamsak. Thank you. We'll go for the 5 miles, then my classes. I have midterms. Oh, okay. Oh, Haruk. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm going to start doing live streams at night again. Oh, that's cool. Well, I'll be there if I can, and I'm not sleeping. It's quite possible I'll be sleeping because I go to sleep pretty early. But let me know and I'll try and stay awake. I just got a new, yesterday for my birthday, I got a tablet. Not a tablet, but an iPad. So I'm going to have to learn how to use it. I've had an iPhone before, but I've never had an iPad. So I'm going to have to learn how to use it. I have an Android phone, but I've got to learn how to do. Hey, tacos. I'm good. How are you, sweetie? You're at work. That should say it all. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. I know you weren't feeling that good the other day. Oh, Lord. Isn't it funny? Like, not funny, but last night, I cannot eat the same thing 3 days in a row. I know, isn't it? It's a very long name. I'm so lazy when I tag people. I usually only tag like you. I tag the first name of tacos. That's all I ever tag because I'm just so lazy that I don't like to type out the whole name. Like unless it's really short, then I'll tag out the whole name. I'll tag the whole name. But if it's really, really long, I'm too freaking lazy. And plus, if I just have my phone, I am so bad at hitting the keys. It's just like one typo after another. It's horrible. Hi, Kenny. Or Kenile. Good morning. Oh, you make me feel old when you say Madam Carla. Oh, goodness. Oh, Lordy. Oh, I don't even know I came live today. I feel like crap. Like I said, I was up almost all night, sick to my stomach. I'm like bloated and sick to my stomach. I was on Alka-Seltzer. Hey, Samara. I was like on Alka-Seltzer all night because I was feeling so sick to my stomach. Yuck. It was, yuck. And it wasn't because like I ate the same stuff the night before. I think my stomach can't handle something like 2 nights in a row or something. I don't know. Hello, big shout out to Emma's. Thank you, Haruk. I cannot say your name. I don't like saying someone's name and that I butcher. It's hard. Oh, it's evening where you are. Where are you, Huraruk? Huraruk. Huraruk. Oh, look at me. I can't even say your name. I'm sorry. But where are you if it's evening? I guess it's not morning everywhere. I'm just used to saying good morning. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Samara. Oh, so how is everybody today? Any news on that laundry fella? I don't want to. I mean, I'm not going to like talk about it much because I really don't know much about it. But I'm waiting for him to be caught. But because I think enough people are talking about it. That's why. Not because I'm not interested in it, because I am. I'm from Korea. I came to play for a while. Oh, okay. Well, we don't play much in here, so you might be bored. Did you watch the Dr. Phil episode with Gabby's parents? I did. Yeah, I did watch it. Hey, True Helper. Good morning. Nice to see you. My keyboard. And I fight at least twice a day. Korea, I guess, judging by the characters that are using. The thing is, I can't pronounce their name, and I don't want to butcher their name. How are you doing, True Helper? I hope well. I just don't think it's good for me to put my 2 cents worth into the whole Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie thing, because so many others have already, voiced their opinion on that. I just want him to be caught. That's all. And alive. I want him to be found alive and him to face justice if he's the one that actually murdered her, which I think most of us think he is. But well, I can. Do you want to come up here, Samara? Because you can help me probably more than, because I've been kind of backing off a little bit because so many others are talking about it. And I don't want anybody to say, oh, you're just, doing that for clout, because I'm not. Because I really, hi, Pixie Dust, I really don't know. I know what I've heard, because that's the first thing I do in the morning is I type out his name and look for the latest on what's going on with that. Hey, Mark, thank you for coming in. So yeah, I do check and see if there's anything new going on. Gingerlocks. Now, see, Gingerlocks knows a lot more about it than I do. So if she comes up, she could probably talk about it. But I don't want to say something wrong or put wrong information out because I really don't know. But I did watch the Dr. Phil episode. I was very heartbreaking. It was very hard to watch. Gingerlocks, are you not blue? Oh, yeah, you are. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted there for a minute. But anybody that wants to come up here and talk about it is welcome to come up here. But I can't talk a lot about it because the only thing I know is he's on the run. From what I see, an outsider's perspective looking in, is he's kind of a coward. Not kind of, he is a coward because he's not facing what he needs to face. And hopefully he will be caught alive because everybody wants to know what happened. Are you still listening to Preston and Steve? Who's Preston and Steve? Is that your friends? Be right back. A bunch of bees. Are you getting chased by bees, Samara? Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. How are you, Mark? Mark, I got to send you my sympathies too on losing your friend. I don't know if I did make that clear, but I send my condolences to you. It's like so sad on here when people I know on Philadelphia radio. Yeah. I think you posted them in Discord, those guys. My pleasure. I also enjoy Korean culture and history. Y'all are tough and very intelligent. I was watching, I guess it wasn't Korea, but it was about Thailand. There's some interesting things about Thailand. Because I'm interested in Thailand because my brother and my mother lived there for 3 years. So I'm interested in all things Thai, including food. They have good food and fruits that we've never seen here in the United States. But so it's kind of warm out here today. It kind of feels like summer. I want to go home. Tacos, when don't you want to go home when you're at work? You're so funny. You're such a funny girl. So nobody wants to come up and educate me on what's going on? Why, of course. We have them on at every job site. 93.3 WMMR for life. And they're on the internet too. Oh, Gingerlocks, you're gonna have to teach me about iPads because my husband just bought me one for my birthday yesterday. A real nice one. More expensive than like I wouldn't have paid that much, but I don't know how to use them, so it really is hard to imagine that Brian Laundrie is a criminal mastermind thwarting the efforts of the vast resources of the FBI and all over law enforcement. And yet here we are. Yeah, Madagascar. Exactly. I mean, he didn't seem like he had the skills to thwart, the efforts of everybody, but evidently he has. I mean, don't you think if he was dead, they would have found his body by now? I'm not dressed yet. Otherwise, I would come up. I do my college work in my pajamas. That's okay. You can come up? Okay. I'll put the link in here. Maybe you can educate me about this. Yeah. I mean, it's so sad for it was so sad for Gabby's family. I'm going to pin that. So if anybody else wants to come up, you can. It's pinned at the top. Hey, Remy, I think little Brian has been getting help the entire time. I think you're right, Remy. I mean, he's probably comfortable somewhere. I mean, I'm just in the car. That's okay. I tried to get people to come up yesterday and nobody wanted to come up because they don't like me. Hey.
Hi.
So what's your opinion, Missy?
It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. And okay. It is that the Laundries are the biggest fucking liars that are out there. Sorry for my language. Their story changed last night. Now they're not saying it was the 14th. Now they're saying it was the 13th. I'm sorry. Once your story changes, then you're suspicious unbelievably. Even though they were already suspicious. They were already suspicious.
But when did they say that? When did they have the
Yesterday.
laundries? His parents,
Yesterday.
you mean? The parents?
The parents of
Brian.
no, it was the attorney. The attorney, sorry, I'm trying to think at the same time and
Oh,
watching
okay.
people out, and I'm like, I can't even do that. So I'm like sitting I'm about ready to go in the dollar store. But no, I believe he's on the Appalachian Trail. I do. I believe the hiker 1000% that he saw him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But didn't he say he was driving a car or a truck?
Truck. Nope. Who got him the truck?
That's what I mean. Like, where did he get the truck from?
His parents. His parents has worked with him with everything. I'm not necessarily sure if I believe Cassie. Not sure. But that's my opinion. I mean, she can only tell what she believes she knows. But unfortunately, this family has not said anything, and they could give two shits about the Petito family and her mother's family, who are in pain and dying because they need to know what happened, and they're holding on to it because they know. That's why they're not coming out. That's why they're hiding their faces. It's not because they're innocent.
Hey, Mr. Positive. Yeah, I think they do know more. I think, and absolutely. I don't know what to think about her interview either. Like, because I mean, she knew everybody was looking for him. They took pictures with him at that campground. So, like, how could you not know?
So wait, you let your kids go off with them and you didn't talk to them? I find that
and
unbelievably hard to believe.
And just coming back without Gabby.
You're like, where's Gabby?
In her van,
you, right? Doesn't she live in the
Yeah, in her van that she owns without her.
And when he came home during the trip, when he flew home, he emptied out a storage unit. Was this planned?
He did?
Yes, he did. When he flew home in August, apparently he emptied out a storage unit.
Mm. Yes. Well, I wonder if she was dead longer than they think.
No, well, because people seen her on the 27th. So she
was okay. See, that's how much I don't know about it. That's how much I don't know. Well, when was that footage from the police taken?
Which one?
The one where she's really upset.
Who's upset?
Gabby and Brian are fighting.
From Utah.
Yeah. When was that taken?
That was in August in Utah.
Okay.
It wasn't far from the 27th, but look at it. The guy called and clearly said the guy is slapping the girl.
Taco says, yeah, I didn't either know he cleaned out a storage unit.
It wasn't, I never heard the guy say, and she's hitting him. They're hitting each other. No, he was hitting her.
Where did you find out that he cleaned out a storage unit? That was in the news.
The news when he came home.
I never heard that.
Yeah, it's out there.
Taco's never heard it either.
Yep.
So what did he do with it? Hi, White Lotus. That was on the 12th. When they pulled them over, it was on the 12th.
Yes, I believe so. Could have been.
And when and he came back on the 27th of August, or
no, I forget what day he came back in the middle of the trip, and then he flew back out to be with Gabby. That was when he emptied a storage unit, which to me is unbelievably suspicious. Like, all of it's suspicious. He's suspicious. I think the parents are guilty. I believe Brian's guilty. I don't think Cassie's guilty, but I think maybe they didn't talk about Gabby, or maybe he said something like, oh, she went home or something, but she didn't say that. She didn't say he said anything about Gabby. So
Selena says, has anyone considered possible mafia ties? Brian's mother's maiden name is quite famous in New York and not the gang. It's Vinci. I'm not say I know that information. I don't.
I don't either. Could she? It's possible. She could.
But why though? Why? She
lived from New York.
Gabby lived with them for 2 years. You would think him coming back without Gabby in the van, there would be some questions
that she bought
that she owned. Like, how could he even have the guts? Like he's not a very good criminal, if he is a criminal.
Well, guess what? Really good at hiding. So
he is good at hiding, but he wasn't good at burying a body, was he? Because he didn't even bury her. He left her.
I think he tried to bury her. I really don't.
No, he left her out in the open just because for the animals to get at her.
Because even when the YouTubers who drove by and saw the van, they said it was an odd space. It was not a place that you would park to camp. It was not in a normal space. So they found it highly suspicious. Now, when they close that, when you watch it, he's in the back of that van because he closes the door and you see it slows down. You see the door close. At first, it looks like a tree. But as it gets up a little bit further, you see the door completely closed. So he was either A, in there by himself, or B, in there with her. But
okay, was that where her body was that close to where her body was found?
It was feet from where her body was found.
Oh, maybe he was in the midst of killing her. Like, you know what I mean? Like when they
I know what you mean. By. Absolutely.
Wow, that is creepy.
The flip-flop, their flip-flops and sandals are on, or it's his flip-flops that are on. You can see when he gets into the van. When he gets into the van, his flip-flops are on the ground.
Oh, God, that's so creepy. Can you imagine? Like, how do you think, if he did kill her, how do you think it was? Do you think he strangled her?
Yes.
Y'all have a good day. Bye, tacos.
Or hit her over the head.
Girl. Hi, Kimberly. Yeah, I just
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I can't see chat. I'm in my car.
I'll just read it out when someone comes in. You know, he didn't seem like he was all that smart, but for him to elude everybody for this long, he's got to have some skills. You know what I
mean? His sister said mediocre. Like he's got mediocre skills. I don't believe that. I think he's got some pretty darn good skills, especially after like a cross country trip and he made it back home. I don't think he's like whatever that guy's name is. I can't remember his name. Is the survivalist who takes all the celebrities on different.
Bear Grylls.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but he's supposedly, now from what I heard, and I've heard just things here and there, but I heard that he did stay out in the wilderness for about a couple months by himself.
Well, that came from Rose, who was Gabby's friend, and said that he bragged about living on the Appalachian Trail for 3 months.
Yeah.
She said that was like something he bragged about.
Do you think he just got mad at her and just lost his cool and killed her?
I don't know. They obviously had DV going on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The parents were aware of the DV, did nothing, and all they care about is their son, and they don't care about Gabby nor her family. And that's why, when the family goes, "Where's my daughter? Talk to my lawyer." That is not normal.
Remy said maybe he pushed her, she fell, hit her head. I don't know. He's not that great, but that's why he may be staying close to mommy.
And who knows?
Yeah, the mafia wouldn't want anything to do with Brian. They have enough eyes aimed their way. Not to mention, I'm sure they'd want to know what happened. Yeah.
He's probably lost quite a bit of weight. So
do you think they'll find him alive, though?
Yes.
I'm just like wondering if they're going to find him alive.
Narcissist to kill himself. Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know how they. Hi, Rita. How are you, darling? I don't know how he's eluded them so long. Like, do you think? And here's my,
don't have any
if
technology.
his parents had anything to do with it, they should have to pay for all the resources they've had.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
because they've spent a
They're not going to
lot.
be, I'm sure they don't have that type of money. I'm
Probably
sure.
not. But, you know, I mean, they should be charged with something.
Well, but they aided and abetted a felon. Yes. And
Yeah.
it's going to be worse once he does get charged. And he will get charged. They're just waiting to get him first, I believe, and have him in custody. That's
Yeah.
what I think. I've watched a couple of people who are covering this story. Popcorn Planet covers this big time. So if you don't know him, honest to God, subscribe up to Andy Signor. He is and the name of his channel is Popcorn Planet. He's had different detectives on to talk. He's had lawyers on to talk. He lives not far from Fort DeSoto.
Oh,
So
does he?
yeah. So
There was another one they were talking about too. I think Marissa was talking about someone else too.
Lockdown Radio.
Pardon me?
You talking about White Boy Lockdown Radio?
No, it's a different YouTuber that's covering this story.
Well, there's tons of YouTubers that are
Oh
covering this.
my God. I know. That's why I said my little channel.
I was talking about it, and I kind of realized that I don't think people like that from me, so I'm just not going to do that. So I'm like, I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm not a true crime channel. I'm not. I'm like,
you know, it's just my opinion. You know, you're allowed to have an opinion about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even pretend to know half of what's going on, because all I do is in the morning, I type in his name to see what the latest is. And so far, there hasn't been like a lot of anything new that's been going on. So
yeah.
I just want to see him get caught alive and find out what happened. Like,
once your story changes, you are a liar. And in the police's eyes, it's the same thing. If your story stays consistent and it doesn't change, more or less, that is the truth. But when you change your stories, it gets extremely suspicious, especially this far into it, that they changed the story.
Natalie says, I don't believe that he is a narcissist. He's scared, in my opinion, and a coward, but not a narcissist. This
I disagree.
Word narcissist is overrated. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about him.
He thinks he's the smartest guy there is, and I think he thinks he can outsmart people. And I do believe he is a narcissist, which is somebody who thinks the world revolves around them, which obviously, if you can't even admit your wrongdoings, then obviously that's a problem. Do I think he's also a coward at the same time? Yes. But if he's running, he's not going to jail. And as Joseph Petito said yesterday on Dr. Phil, what would you like to see for him? He said life in prison, not death, not the death sentence. He said life in prison, because for an outdoorsman like him, you know, like
a worst thing,
is the worst thing that he could possibly be in.
I always thought that was a harsh penalty, because you really, when you're in prison for life without the chance of parole, you don't have anything to look forward to. You don't, because you're never going to get out. So, like, to me, that's the worst. I don't know if I'd want to live like that. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't. I'm just out and about now, so I'm just getting some stuff done because I feel like I'm stuck in my house all the time.
Yeah, I mean, well, I try to get out every day, at least for a little bit. It's warm there today. It's like summertime.
It's here too. Like, and I have a long sleeve shirt on, but with
no, I've got shorts on because I went outside and I'm like, it's warm outside today.
I got sparkles all over me. So
Natalie says, I respect your opinion, Ginger, but we can only speculate from here to eternity until he gets arrested. Exactly. Everybody's got their own opinion about him.
Except for that family.
I do agree with Natalie that he's a coward. I do agree with that. Other than that, I don't know what to think. I mean, they were supposedly in love. How can you do that to someone you love? Hey, Samara, you had a phone call. You're fired. She's fired. She left to take a phone call.
Well,
You know
I'm
that.
about ready to go into the Dollar Tree and then Home
Okay.
Depot and then to
Okay.
Wegmans.
Come back.
I will if I can. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll be sitting in the chat at least. But as I know of right now, that's the most that I know is that the
Yeah,
story.
I try to find out new news every morning, and I haven't heard anything new that's been going on. So I just
It's
wait.
basically
I
right
think
now
like
about
everybody,
the
there's
system.
nothing we can do. I mean, we can't go down there. I mean, we can't go down there and look for them. So we have to count on, people like Dog the Bounty Hunter and people that are actually actively looking for him.
And there are other bounty hunters looking out for this as well. He's not the only one.
Is there a bounty out on him?
Yes. Well, no, but I believe people are getting involved just because of the sake of like this, for whatever reason, this story seriously captivated the world, global, not even like national news, global.
Yeah, I think it has to do with looks a lot. They were a nice looking couple.
They were young.
It was the same with the Chris Watts story. I mean, look, they were a nice looking couple, had beautiful children, and look how that went too. I mean, it is how it goes. Plus, the parents pushed for people to, you know what I mean. You got to push for it too. You got to push for justice.
And all the people who are saying that the protesters are wrong or this is wrong or that is wrong, you know what's wrong? Hiding your son and not saying anything is wrong. I understand that you want to, you plead the fifth, but the fact of the matter is, where is it that you plead the fifth and then you're aiding and abetting a
Right.
fugitive? There's that.
Well, I really think that the cops dropped the ball in that one. They could have posted someone in the back, someone in the front, and he would have never gotten away.
Like literally 4 sets, like 4 eyes, 2
Yeah.
in the front, 2 in the back to make sure he didn't leave.
Right.
And that would, but who knows? During that time, he may not have even been in the house, and they thought he was. Who knows what a head start this kid has?
But weren't they there to see him leave, or they just?
I don't know that. I mean,
because people clown on Dog the Bounty Hunter, but he has caught over 2,000 fugitives. Granted, most of them are bond jumpers, but that takes skill. Yeah, I agree. I think he could probably he has his sources too. He has his sources everywhere, so he might do.
I'm parked right in front of this place called Burn Boot Camp, and I'm watching these people in there, and I feel like crap because I can't do anything of what they're doing.
What are they doing?
I couldn't do that.
I'll say this: there's a lot of wannabe reporters, bounty hunters, and also maniacs, and takes advantage of this sad event. That, for me, it makes me wonder how and why it's allowed. I don't know. I really don't know now.
What is allowed? I'm sorry.
I think a lot of people have really have a good heart and want this resolved for the family. I think a lot of them do. I don't think it's all about clout.
People want to see this family
get justice
served.
Yeah, because they even got
they can't have justice until somebody either says something, and they won't. They're not going to tell them. Do I think they know now where he is? No, I don't. I think he took off, but they helped him take off. Absolutely.
Right. Well, he's got a burner phone, doesn't he? Or did they?
Well, Roberta and him went to go buy a burner phone, so that is true. Whether I don't know whether that's the phone. I don't know. I don't know about the phones and whose phone, because they found a phone that was in his room. I don't know. I don't know about like the full extent of the phones, but I do believe he has a burner phone because Roberta and him were seen during the first week of September buying a burner phone.
Good Lord.
I mean, all you have to do is like seriously put the pieces together. It's not that hard, but we got to find them first. They got to find them.
I agree. Call me Frenchie. There are those that have made this into the biggest crap show ever. That's true. Well, of course. I mean, same with Chris Watts when that happened. I mean, a lot of people latched onto that because it was getting them views.
Still are latched on the Watts case, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. I actually watched American Murder last night on Netflix because I hadn't seen the whole thing. I don't know.
I saw that in the hospital. I remember I watched it in the hospital.
Yeah, I just watched it last night, the whole thing, and it was like really hard to watch her and those kids, knowing what we know now.
Knowing that they're not here now. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, it was very, very hard.
But, all right, I'm going in the store.
Okay.
I hope I gave you a little bit of clarity because that's all I know as of like 7:30 this morning.
I don't know that much, so. I thought you would know more than me.
That I really have. I've been listening to it like part 2 of Dr. Phil with the Petito family.
I only saw part 1.
Well, part 2's today.
Oh, part 2's coming out today. Oh, okay.
Today. Yeah.
Oh, I'll watch it. For sure.
And you can even bypass it because it takes a while. Dr. Phil normally posts his show probably around 1 or 2 o'clock, like 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He'll post the show that is for that.
I can watch it on TV too.
Yeah, and honest to God, they have more on TV than they do
on YouTube.
They do. Like they show more flashbacks and things like that, and I like to watch it on TV personally, my opinion.
Yeah.
But and I agree with Molly Golightly when she thinks that Dr. Phil is doing a good job with this. And
the family got some flack for doing the tattoos things, let it be tattoos.
Flack?
I mean, people were saying that it was like they shouldn't have gotten tattoos saying let it be because it was too early. I don't know.
She's gone. They know that she's gone. It's the manner of how she's gone. We still don't know. That's the problem. But it was what we do know, it was a homicide. Now, if somebody else killed her, do you think he would go back with her car by himself and not say a word and run off and go camping and ride bikes with his parents? No, it's not normal behavior when your friend or your fiance is missing and you don't have her with you. And you know in your head what you did, and you can just move on.
Well, but they can't even arrest him for that, though. They're going to arrest him for using her bank card, isn't it?
And then I think when they have him in custody is when the charges will come out.
Yeah. Exactly.
They need to question and do some. I do believe and I have faith that the FBI know more than we are letting on.
They always keep,
or the feds are not telling us a whole lot, and that's okay because they need to do the investigation. But I do believe this hiker. I do believe the hiker.
Yeah.
The story has not. And when you keep eye contact like this, and you don't have to. I mean, even sometimes when you're talking and you're trying to think, like my eyes move all the time. But when you are inconsistent and you don't have the same story, you have to think. And you've been telling the story probably day after day after day after day lately. You're going to remember it. And this guy was like, I guess he said 99.9%. He said 100% at one point. So I do believe that he stole Brian Laundrie. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, how could you of course there's been, I've seen pictures of guys that look exactly like him.
If the world looks like him, if you know what I mean, there's so many guys with beards and
bald and yeah, it's kind of easy to find.
Yeah, but you know what? And I remember somebody put up a picture, and I'm like, no, the nose is too pointy. I'm like, he's got a wide nose.
No. But when you look at this guy, like quickly, he looks like Brian Laundrie. He really does. So it's like, wow. If I would see him, walking by my house, I would say, well, that's him.
I have not, I do not, delivery people can't even find my house. So I'm not worried about any other.
I'm kind of on a throwaway, so
you know why I have that issue.
yeah, I do. I know exactly why. Oh my goodness.
I gotta run in. I gotta run in. But thanks.
Okay. Love you.
Love you. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So Frenchie says, opportunist and manipulate people with no soul. That was my message behind the blinders in my streams. Awareness and deja vu. I just couldn't use like a tragedy for my own benefit. I couldn't myself. I mean, I'm talking like my opinion, but I don't like, I would never, I'm not good enough to cover a case on YouTube. Like, I'm not true crime, really. I'm just like chit chat. I have an opinion. I know what I think, but I would never ever pretend I know anything like about true crime. Everyone, good to see you. I've been sick. Pray for me. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Positive. What's the matter? What have you got? Not COVID, I hope. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. Ah, here you go. You got my prayers, hon. I hope you feel better. Let's just all pray that they find him alive. Like, it's important that they find him alive, because I know her family wants answers. And I will watch Dr. Phil today, only because pressure sore that isn't healing well. The liquid leaving my body is draining me, making me sleep a lot more than I normally do. I'm sorry, Mr. Positive. Praying for you to get better. Facts. Call me Frenchie. Some really don't have any self-awareness and lack any sort of empathy, yet they call themselves empaths. Shaking my head. I do have empathy. That's why I haven't talked a lot about it, because I really don't know enough about it. But of course, we all are going to have an opinion. We all it's such a big story that we're all going to have an opinion about it. But I would not make that the main topic on here, because of the fact that I don't know. Like, I would never do a video on it or anything like that. But I do have my opinions. I do feel like the police dropped the ball. I do believe that when they separated them, when they showed that footage of when Gabby was really upset, they should have separated them. And I've been in that position where I was in an abusive relationship and I was not believed. And there's nothing. And you always want to, you never want to get your abuser in trouble. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's the thing that stuck out in my mind with her, is she didn't want to get him into trouble. And I think it was because she was like, oh boy, am I in for it. You're welcome at any time. Being sick sucks. We got you, brother. Yes, we do. I surely hope wouldn't make it a main focus. I enjoy your streams, but when people like me disagree with many here, then it's hard to enjoy. I think to me, if you have an opinion, you have a right to voice it. In my stream, you have a right. I mean, if you're respectful and you voice your opinion, who am I to say your opinion is wrong? Everybody has a right to voice their opinion. I'm not going to censor you because you have a different opinion than what I have or what someone else has. You're allowed to have a different opinion. One of my mods has a different opinion. And I mean, she was afraid to say anything in my stream because it wouldn't be popular. And I'm like, no, you have a right to have your opinion. You know, you always have to have, you know, that's the thing that bothers me about some of these streams. When you disagree with the majority, then you're yeah, you're either censored, timed out, blocked, and that's not fair, because everybody, like, I have an opinion about what I think he did and what where I think the police dropped the ball. But I mean, that's not to say I'm right. I could be totally wrong. But I wouldn't make it like the focus of this channel because, hey, I'm I I'm not into like doing the true crime thing. But it is hard, like you said, when you disagree with the majority, you can get bashed quickly. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. That's why, if a lot of times I won't voice my opinion if I think it's like unpopular, like I'm one that I don't get away with unpopular opinions. So I just don't say anything. And I've been, sorry, I've been like that for a long time. I always say I stand alone and strong with my convictions, my integrity, period. But it's not popular to be like this, but I'm not here to be popular. Yeah, exactly. I just don't want to start, especially in someone else's stream. I don't want to start fights. I don't want to start conflict. I'm just a person, and I've always been like this. I avoid conflict at all costs, at all costs. So I've just never liked conflict. Now, having said that, I do. Hi, Wendy V. I thought you hated me. Nice to. Is that really you? Is that really you? I'm trying to keep my my nose clean. I'm trying to keep my nose clean. Oh, stop. Is it really you? I don't even know if it's really you. I like how people come in here and well, you did for a while. You did for a while. Come on, let's be real. It is her logo, but that doesn't prove it's her. Yeah. It's you. Okay. Hit me up on Twitter. Tell me it was really you. Yeah, so I just, yeah, I just don't want to talk about Gabby Petito. And I just, my opinion is the cops got it wrong and he's gone and he's a coward, and that's about it. That's all. That's really all my opinion is about him. He's a coward. No, you didn't. Oh, did I? I don't go. I go on there, so I might have. I might have been mad at you and blocked you. I'll have to go check because I hardly ever go on Twitter. I do. I hardly ever go on. Seriously, I hardly ever go on Twitter. I don't know. People say Twitter is worse than YouTube, but I go on it so seldom. People that can take a disagreement or suggestion are, in my opinion, my perspective, not secure and have no idea how to debate a healthy debate. Yeah, I think a healthy debate is good for us all. It is. I'm not. I don't like to debate though. I'm I'm such a wimp. I just don't like to fight with people. I just would rather just like take off and not deal with conflict. I'm bad. True Helper saying hi, Wendy B. I mean, I think everybody has a valid right to their opinions, whether they agree with me or not. Hey, I'm the person that will respect. Um, I love Natalie's. Natalie, is that your picture on there? Because that's beautiful. You look beautiful in that picture. I love that picture of you. If that's you, it's very, very pretty. Why am I not sub to your channel? I need to sub to your channel. Oh my goodness. I'm just reading. Many, in my opinion, are emotionally thinking through this case instead of critically thinking through it. I think so. I am. I know I am, Mr. Positive. I just think, what if that was my daughter? It would be completely emotional. And plus, we just went through a tragic loss in our family. So it was just too close to what happened in our family to even think about another person's family suffering a tragic loss. So, like I said, give me a roll of paper towels, vice grips, and a roll of duct tape. I'll go MacGyver and get some answers out of Brian. Oh, goodness. You were working at Dunkin' Donuts, really? Oh my gosh. You're so cute in that picture. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. I love that picture of you. So, what's everybody doing for the rest of the day? Are you watching Dr. Phil? Watching Dr. Phil today. I am like I said, I have an opinion about everything, but I mean, we all could be wrong. I mean, I think he's a coward because you don't run if you have nothing to hide, you know. I mean that in a nonviolent way, wink, wink. True helper. You're funny. You're funny. Oh my goodness. I'll have to see if I got Wendy V blocked on Twitter. I do agree with you about the cops. It did fail 100%. It probably stemmed from recent history of cops being hated on. So maybe they didn't want to jump the gun. Carlin Friends. Yeah. Except that she actually did say to them that she was the one that hit him. So we can't always blame the cops 100%. I mean, how are they supposed to know what's the truth and what's not? But he was just, I just remember going through that. Like, I remember going through that with my ex, and the neighbors had called the cops. We were living in row houses, and the neighbors had called the cops because he was just beating the crap out of me. And the police came to the house and they believed his story. He was such a liar, and they believed him over me. And it was so frustrating because I knew I was going to get shit kicked out of me when they left. And I couldn't even say, when you guys leave, that's it for me. I'm dead. And I was locked in a closet for a whole weekend. I mean, domestic violence is not funny. And they have this new thing now where a woman can draw a dot on their hand if they think they're in danger. And if the cops come around or whatever, if you just put your hand up and they see that dot, it means that you believe that you need help. You could be in danger. So it's a new thing for domestic violence. It's like people that don't have kids will say, my kids will not do this or that, etc. Wait until you get kids. All these good values will most likely change. It's easy to judge from the outside. Listen, I have 2 children, biological children. One, my daughter, perfect, never did any. Hi, German lady. How are you, lady? One, perfect, never did anything. My son ended up addicted to drugs, had to go into rehab. Like, how do you predict? And they were both raised the same. How do you predict? How do you predict which child is going to end up, suffering with addiction or whatever, when they were both raised the same way? And I felt guilt for a long time over him, and I enabled him for a long time, until my daughter called me up one day and said, Mom, if you keep sending him money, you're going to kill him. So I stopped sending him money, and he was so mad at me. Oh my gosh, there's nothing harder for a mother to, like, say no to their child. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do, and I actually couldn't do it. I made my husband do it, and but then he finally hit rock bottom. Like, I mean, he was going to lose his son. He lost his house, lost his car, lost his job, and finally decided that's it. Need to get help. Went into rehab, and he's been good ever since. So knock on wood. He's got a house. He bought kind of like a wrecked house. Like, it was kind of a fixer-upper. Fix it all up. I'm so proud of him. Got a good job. Got partial custody of his son now because his ex is struggling with alcohol abuse, but he's really stepped up to the plate. He won't drink. He quit smoking. He won't drink. I mean, I'm just so proud of him. He's really done. But see, that's where I say, I raised them the same way. And one ended up, I'm not saying that he's imperfect, but one ended up, never gave me any trouble, never was addicted to drugs. And the other one, complete opposite. You'll behave today. Well, I'm trying to behave myself. It's too early to misbehave, actually. But misbehaving is kind of fun too. So, and misbehaving is my friend too. Misbehaving. You guys know misbehaving. She comes in here. She's been busy. She's got a lot on her plate, but you did the right thing. We can't be responsible for their actions and behaviors till death do us part. Yeah, exactly. It just, when my daughter called me, she goes, Mom, we're going to find him in an alley, or he's going to overdose, or he's going to, something's going to happen to him. And it's not, you're going to feel guilty for the rest of your life, because it's 4:28. Really? That late? What are you, 6 hours ahead of us? Wow. Are you going live today, German lady? I actually like that. I like her accent when she goes, welcome to, you are in German, ladies. Welcome to the fuck shit. Diane! Diane! That's good, German lady. I try to do my, hi, Val. How you doing? I was trying to, like, my grandmother was German, and I know her accent, but I can't, she used to speak. My grandmother spoke, like, I think it was German, Polish, because my grandfather was Polish. So, and her friend was Russian. So she spoke German, Polish, Ukrainian, Russian, and one other, English. So she spoke 5 languages. My grandmother was never educated. She just learned these languages on her own. I don't know if they're similar or what, but she was an immigrant, so she learned all those languages. Well, my grandfather was Polish, and he was a mean drunk. Oof. That's great to hear, Carla. I'm so proud of our boys, as neither one ended up an addict like their pop. Yeah, and I blamed myself. When this was first going on, I just blamed myself. I'm like, what could I have done differently? But they were both raised the same. How can you you know what I mean? How can you say that something you did, what could you have done differently that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They were both raised the same. One just ended up into drugs. I don't know if it's like the friends that he hung out with or what it was, but he's completely cleaned up now. Does not. Hey, Jojo, my sister from a different mister. Yeah, so he doesn't touch anything. Doesn't even smoke cigarettes. Like nothing. He's like completely. Don't ever blame yourself. Education and patience are key to conquering and controlling addiction. There's only so much parents can do. True Helper, and I've seen this documentary on it, and doctors actually recognize it as a true illness. Addiction is an illness. So yeah, but you do blame yourself as a parent because, well, I blamed myself for enabling him. Like when my daughter finally only so much parents can do. Yeah. When my daughter called me and said, Mom, if you keep giving him money, and I gave him money whenever he was, needed money, I would give him money, but he wouldn't. So at the end, I would have to like send my daughter, like if he said he needed food, I would send my daughter the money and she would buy the food. And it pissed him off so bad that I wouldn't give him money. But is here. I have to do the child support hop, tuck and roll. I was in Germany. I took a riverboat. I did the Rhine and castles and many wineries from Strasbourg. I was in Germany too. I was actually born in Germany. Believe it or not, I was born in Germany, in Zweibrücken, Germany, many, many years ago. And it was when my dad was a pilot and he was stationed over there. And he married my mother and she got pregnant and she had me in Germany. Oh, and then she lost my birth certificate. Talk about trying to find your birth certificate. And because I was born on an Air Force base that no longer existed. So it was really hard to find my records in Germany. But yeah, funny story though, when my mother was in labor, my dad's plane crashed. He was a pilot. My dad's plane crashed and she was in labor and they couldn't find him right away. So they didn't want to tell my mom when she was in labor that she was in labor with me, that my dad's plane had crashed, because they didn't know if he had bailed out or, if he had gone down with the plane. And so they let her have me and blah, blah. And then after they broke the news to her that my dad's plane had crashed and they weren't sure if he had bailed out or whatever. Of course, that was very upsetting. But they found my dad hanging in a tree with a parachute. He had bailed out of his plane and his parachute was like dangling from a tree. So yeah, he survived. He survived. So that's my birth story. Yep. That's what happened. My mom remembers, she goes, they never, I can't remember who went in with her, but they wouldn't tell her, German lady, every soul has lost it hits harder than the previous, in my opinion. I'm sorry you suffered that way. It's total hell to watch someone you care about destroy themselves by addiction and alcoholism. And my son is dealing with that right now, with the mother of his son, because she's dealing with alcoholism right now. So hopefully it won't, she'll be able to, because I could, even though he's not married to her, I consider her family, and I want to see her do well because she is the mother of my grandson. So, it's it's been it's been really hard on him, but my daughter said she's so proud of, she goes, Mom, I'm so proud of my brother. He's just like, he's really helped her. Even though that hasn't been the best thing for him, because of course he went through his addiction and rehab and everything, but he's really stepped up to the plate, and now he's got his own house and car, and he's just done everything so well. But anyways, guys, it's been an hour. Thank you all for coming in and listening to me carry on and babble and babble and babble. I love you all for coming in. I appreciate you all for coming in. It's been really interesting. Like I like talking about everything. I like talking about everything. But you guys, take care and have a great day. It's sunny here. It's warm here. I hope you guys are having a nice, warm, sunny day where you are. I know in Canada they got some snow in British Columbia, but yes, you do too. Love you all. Bye.